James, I don't think we saw Keyvone Lee out on the field today. I guess much like we asked about Chris Brown last week, he's definitely be available for Saturday.
Yeah, I'm not sure yet. He was out here, but yeah, I'm not sure yet. Jim McElwain? Yeah, very familiar. He's a long-term coach, a long-time coach, seasoned coach. Head coach, coordinator, kind of all over the country. He's a Northwest guy. I kind of have ties to that tree. Their defensive coordinator I know very well, known for a long time. So yeah, I know him well from his time in the SEC, my time in the SEC. I think he's got a really good veteran staff. I think they're very well coached. You look at their offensive coordinator, and that's a football family, and the Petrinos, and they do a good job. So. It'll be a challenge.
James, what's your take on the performance of Adisa through 3 games, coming back from what he was coming back from? He mentioned after the game on Saturday that a lot of it is kind of mental. How do you think he's doing in all those regards, physical, mental, all those things?
Yeah, I think every week he's taken a step and gaining more confidence. He's still a young player. I mean, even before the injury, he only had, I think, 1 year of kind of decent amount of time, and everybody was expecting him to have that that breakout the next year, and then we lost him. So although he's a little bit of an older player, he still hasn't played a lot of games for us, and then he's coming through the injury. So he's gaining more and more confidence each week. Obviously last week he was able to flash and do some really good things and had some splash plays for us. But I think you'll just continue to see him as the year goes on, be more consistent, and consistently be able to make more big plays for us. That's what I expect. But I'm a big Adisa Isaac fan. He's been phenomenal really the whole time through the recruiting process. Since he stepped on campus, if you've gotten to know the mom and the family, they're phenomenal. I know you guys probably got a chance to see the piece that was on TV, which was a great piece that focused on a special family, so that was great.
James, Lou Nichols is back. Last year's nation's leading rusher. You just played Auburn and Tank Bigsby. Is there a difference in preparation between the two, or is it kind of the same?
I think you're talking about a really productive back. I think he actually went to high school with the King brothers, if I remember correctly. He's a Detroit kid, but different style back. Tank was extremely quick and explosive. This kid's very well-rounded, very productive, but probably a different style runner.
James, Wheatley is forced to pick your 5 turnovers this year. What have you seen from him, and how has he been able to put himself in positions to create takeaways?
Yeah, like a lot of you guys have covered already, he did it in the spring. He was our turnover king in the spring. He was turnover king during training camp. He's got a knack for finding the ball. We really believe in recruiting defensive backs that we think could play wide out. We think he could. And that's translating. He's got a lot of confidence in his ball skills. He just seems to have a knack for it. He's always at the right place at the right time. So it won't surprise me if this continues to trend with him throughout his career.
We've seen Drew throw 14 passes, I think, at this point, and all of them have made you go, okay, I get it. But we have not seen a lot of what he's not good at. At this point, he hasn't done much wrong. If you were going to tell me what he has to work on, or maybe, I don't want you to throw him under the bus and say he's awful at this or that, but what are the things that Drew has to get better at that we haven't seen at this point?
Yeah, it's a fair question, and it's a good question. It's not a question I'm comfortable talking about right now, because if I bring those things up, and he goes in the game, and I'm the team we're playing, I'm going to do those things. But obviously a lot of it is a rep thing with him. He needs to gain as much experience as possible. It's fairly unusual that we're at this situation, especially with the type of schedule that we have played, that he's been able to play in every game. So there's a ton of value from that. But more than anything, it's just practice reps and game reps and experience, and then the specifics at this stage I'm not comfortable. I'm happy to follow back up with you after the season, going into spring ball, what he needs to work on. I understand the question. I'm just not comfortable answering that at this time.
Sean took that big hit on Saturday. It looked no worse from there, obviously. What have you seen him do in the offseason to increase his durability, to be able to take those hits and come back?
Yeah, to be honest with you, in some ways he's smaller this year. I think he's leaner. But I'm not sure if he's done anything specific. That was a big shot. To be honest with you, you guys asked me after the game, and I was like, I knew it was a good hit, but it was one of those hits like when I watched the replays on the bus on my phone on the way home, I was like, that was more significant than I realized, to be honest with you, because when the ball came out, my eyes went to the ball. I'm just being totally honest with you guys. But watching that was a significant hit. I did make a big deal out of that with the team because I feel like we're starting to create an identity as a tough and physical team. And I know that may not seem to align with that play, but the way Sean just bounced right back up right after that, to me, was impressive. He took their best shot and bounced right back up. And our medical people did a great job of tracking it and watching him and those types of things. But when you guys asked me that question, I forget who asked me after the game, and I kind of answered the question, and then I got on the bus and watched the replay, and I was like, that was a shot. And I think part of it is, if you watched it, the first guy came in and kind of like punched him, not on purpose, but kind of swung at him. And I think that got his attention, and then the other guy came out of nowhere. So.
And the impact with the ground.
And the ground.
Hey James, you mentioned being a more physical team, and you've done some things stylistically in the last game that are very different than what you've done in the past as far as going into those things as heavy as you did. Joe Klatt, week 1, talked about lining up deeper in the pistol or in the shotgun, giving guys extra yardage to get ready and get going on a run play. Clemson, I noticed, is doing kind of the same thing. Is this an evolution of the spread? Like, are teams and defenses figuring out how to stop some of the things that the spread made so prolific in college football, or is it just a typical off-season evolution?
Yeah, I think it's fair, right? I mean, for a while everybody was running the wishbone and it's a nightmare, and then over time people start to kind of figure that out and go away from it. The spread kind of the same way. You obviously get more comfortable and have different strategies to attack it. The pistol's always been something. Obviously became very famous at Nevada with Coach Holt. And the advantage there is a lot of defenses are trying to determine and dictate how they're going to defend your run game based on what you can run based on the back's alignment, or pressures based on where the back is alignment, whether it's the man side or the zone side, and how to attack your protection. So by putting the back in the pistol or in the dot, or however you want to term it, it hides some of those things, at least for a period of time. So I do think people are getting more comfortable and getting more creative on the defensive side of the ball, and the offense has to do things to be creative as well. The things that you were talking about, just so I'm clear about the things that we're doing much different this year, just so I'm clear.
Just going to, at least last week, going to more gap schemes and doing more of that, as far as transitioning into heavier into that versus doing more inside.
Yeah, I think we're probably under center a little bit more, and I think the quarterback sneak is probably the biggest difference. I wouldn't say the gap schemes are significantly different, because it's the same schemes we've had in. But I do think being under center, I think a big part of that is a big strength of our personnel is our tight ends. A big strength right now of our personnel is our running backs, and being as multiple as we possibly can. So it's kind of like I talked, I don't know if it was this group or the press conference or the quarterback club, sometimes they all run together. People say, well, you're playing 7 defensive backs in our prowler package that we call, and that's unusual. Well, again, that is based on our personnel, and our strength is our defensive backs experience compared to our linebacker experience. So part of that is that too, if that makes sense.
Time for 2 more.
Tig said that he was really excited when Manny unveiled the power package and his role in it. Why do you think he felt that? Like, we've seen him being able to do a lot of things out there.
I think it's like anything else, right? When guys are used in a different way and maybe have the ability, as a blitzer and things like that, to do things that they haven't done in the past. I think that's exciting for guys that are able to maybe display some different talents and different things that they have that haven't been used in the past for whatever reason. That's probably the biggest thing.
Hey Jim, if you're a coordinator at Penn State, what kind of guy is James Franklin to work for?
That's probably not a question for me. It's probably a question for those guys. But I think I'm demanding. I think I'm fair. I think the guys that we typically hire, I'm going to provide a level of freedom because I brought them here for a reason. Experience, seasoned, veteran guys. But I'm also going to sometimes bring things up that I want them to consider. And then there's going to be few times where I'm going to say we're doing this and this is why. That's probably how I would describe it overall. But I would also say I think it's really important that you're transparent about those things before you hire them, so they know what they've signed up for. And then also, same thing from them, that they're transparent, and I've done enough background checks that I know what I'm getting as well. Because I think at the end of the day, people can deal with whatever it is as long as you're transparent on the front end and they know what they've signed up for.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks.